So I finally updated my extra creative space. So this is what we'll be working with today. So what you want to do first is go to makerscase.com and create your box, or if you have another avenue where you would like to make your box, do that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the one that I made. And I'm going to say yes to scaling it. What you want to do is you want to ungroup it so you can have all the pieces be individual. So you want to move the smaller pieces out of the way here. And then you're going to delete this extra box because you're going to use this one for the front and the back. So what you want to do is you want to get a shape. Go to shapes and get a triangle. So I'm just going to make this triangle a little bigger here, and then I'm going to place it. Let me zoom in so you guys can see. I'm going to place it on the edge here. And then I'm going to highlight both of these. And then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to do unite. Okay, so then it'll look like this. I'm going to go back over to basic shapes and I'm going to get a rectangle. What I'm going to do once the rectangle is selected, I'm going to go up here to the angle and I'm going to change it to 90 degrees. I'm going to move my rectangle over here and I'm just going to size it bigger so that it fits how I like it on this area. So once it fits how I like it, I'm going to highlight it and I'm going to do the same thing, unite. Okay. So then what you want to do from here, I'm going to zoom out so you guys can see everything, is you want to copy and paste this. So this piece right here would be your back piece and this will be your front. So let's work on the design for this. So you want to go back to shapes and you want to get some squares or whatever shape you want to use to make your windows. So I'm going to size this to the size that I like. Make it a little bit smaller. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste this as many as times as how many windows that I want to have. I think I'm going to grab this moon looking shape because I like that. I'm going to put this here. I'm just going to size it down a little bit. That looks good to me. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of these and I'm going to put subtract and overlap. So then that makes this one piece. So if you change it to engrave, you'll see that it's one whole piece. So I'm going to change it back to cut. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another, or I'm going to get a rectangle again, but this time I'm going to use this one to be the door. So I'm going to change this to 90 degrees. And I'm just going to make this a little bigger to make the door. Highlight it. Do subtract and overlap. Makes it one piece. And now we can decorate it. So I'm going to go back to the shapes and I'm going to go to festival. And I'm just going to put a few things. Let's do a bat. I'm going to change it to cut. I'm going to put it on the door here, like he's hanging upside down from the door, making sure it's overlapping. Then I'm going to highlight them both, and I'm just going to do unite. I'm going to get a pumpkin, and I'm going to do cut for that one as well. I'm going to find a window that I want to place it in, and just size it appropriately. Just make sure you have some overlap going. And then I'm going to highlight them both, and I'm going to do the same thing. Subtract and overlap. Excuse me. I'm going to highlight them both, and I'm just going to do unite. So I'm going to do that for the cat here. Change it to cut. Put it in the window here. Size it down so that it fits how you like it. So if it looks good to you, you just go back, highlight both, and do unite. And then, let's see, what else? Oh, we can go back to shapes. Do the basic shape and do like a plus sign to just do like a little plus here in the window. So I'm going to zoom in so we can see better. And then you just want to make this big enough so that everything is overlapping, so that when you unite it, it becomes one piece. So it looks for the most part like it's overlapped. Just making sure. All right, so then you're just going to highlight both, and then you do unite. So then I want to do something different. So this whole thing is going to be cut. So then I want to add some other pieces to it. So let's go back over here to the shapes and go to festival again. And then this time I'm going to add some spider webs. And I'm going to keep them as engraved so that this part will just be engraved. So I'm just going to size it down so that it fits in this area. Okay, I'm going to do it again. And then I'm just going to flip this one 180. And then I'm going to put it on this side. A little bigger. And then I'm going to grab this last one here. And I'm just going to put it here at the corner. You can use your arrow keys if you want to get more precise. So I'm just going to leave it like that. That looks good to me. So let's move on to the xTool Creative Space and putting everything onto, xTool Creative. Let's move on to the xTool S1. Setting it up on there. Okay, so I put the basswood plywood in here. So this is a 12 by 12 piece. And I am putting a laser over top so that I can get the distance. Go over here to this ruler and you push this distance. If you need to connect your device, you just hit your xTool S1 on here and then hit connect. So then you hit this distance. This measures the distance from the material to your laser. Next, I'm going to do the marking. So how you do the marking is you go here to where there's this little flag here. You press this, do rectangle, start marking. I'm going to mark the top left corner. In the bottom right. Actually, the first thing I want to do is I want to highlight everything. Okay. I'm going to change it to cut. I am going to go up here to user defined material, and I'm going to change this to basswood. I'm going to push confirm. And then when I highlight everything, they're already on cut. And I just want to make sure that the settings are correct. So for my basswood plywood, I've found that I need 2 passes instead of 1 for it to cut all the way through. So I'm going to make sure it does that. I'm going to go back to these pieces here, and I'm going to make sure they're on engrave. So any pieces that you want on engrave, just make sure that they're still set. I'm going to group this together so that when I move this piece, they all stay together. And then I'm going to move it so that it fits inside of the part that I marked, which is pretty much the basswood plywood on the honeycomb. So I'm going to adjust it in here. Okay. And then these pieces, I'm going to rotate them to be 90 so that they can fit on the same piece of basswood plywood. So I'm going to put one here. Okay. And then these, I'm going to move over, highlight both or all 3 of those, and I'm going to push, so they're still on ignore. These pieces I want to make sure are all set to output, which they are. And then I just want to adjust these so that they're not overlapping. Go ahead and just do these pieces on here. And then I'm going to ungroup this. And then we're going to go to process. Make sure you close your lid, and I'm going to turn my fan on, so I'm going to hit start. What I like about this is it gives you how much time it says it's going to take to do it, so that's nice. That's what I like about this new update. So it's going to start first by doing the engraving of the spider webs and the spider, and then it will cut everything out. So I'll come back with you at different points of the process. All right, so here's these 2 pieces. So we have this piece, so this is the front. So I'm going to do that process again for the other pieces. And then we'll put it all together. Alright, so here is this piece. This is the back and one of the sides. So we're just going to do the last piece and then we'll put it together. Alright, so here are the last 2 pieces and then we'll put it together. Alright, so we have the last pieces all cut. So here's the front, the back, and then the sides and the bottom. So then what we're going to do now is we're going to take a hot glue gun and we're going to glue all the pieces together. So I already have turned this on, so it should be almost ready to go. And then I'll show you guys how I'm going to do each piece. So I'm going to start with this front piece, and I'm going to grab one of these. And I am going to glue the bottoms together. So I'm just going to double check that you guys can see it good. So I'm just going to put these pieces together here. Make sure they all fit good. Okay. So once they're all tight on there, I'm just going to glue this area right here with the hot glue. And then I'm just going to put it right on the inside. I'm going to put the next piece on, so it's just going to be this side here. And I am going to put this piece on. Make sure they all fit. And then I'm going to do the same here. I have some pieces of squares that I have gotten just like as already pre-cut. So I'm going to try some of these. So for this one, I'm going to put this on here like so. That looks like that will work good. And then for these, I'm going to use these bigger pieces and I'm going to put them like this. So I'm going to put it like that. First, I'm going to line up the top portions so that they're even. And I'm going to take the glue gun and I'm just going to glue this top part here. So I'm going to glue that top part so that it sticks together. And then, then I'm going to glue this inside pieces right here so that I can stick it to the roof. All right, so then I'm going to do the same for the part here. I'm going to glue these pieces together by the top first. And make sure when you're doing it that these parts are touching. So let me get up closer for you guys. So when you do this part, just make sure you get them lined up. And then you glue literally the top portion of it. And just make it like a thick piece so that it's covering both sides. Okay. So then it should look like this at the top. So that way it's sticking together, as you can see. Fully onto here. So the other one, how I just showed you, that's how I did that one. I glued the inside pieces, but this one is not going to be touching like the other side. So I'm just going to glue the parts that are touching on both sides of here, just to make sure it stays in place. All right, and then all that's left to do is to get like some little lights that if you want to put them in there. So let me show you guys what it looks like. So that's what it looks like when it's all done. It's super cute. So let's go get some lights and see how it looks with that. All right, you guys, so here's the finished product. We got our haunted house. So all that's left to do is just to paint it. So you guys can paint it and decorate it however you like. but I thought that turned out so cute. So I'm gonna have my kids paint them because I made another one too. And then I'll post a video or pictures of how it came out. But thank you guys for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Stay blessed. Take care.